Hi everybody and welcome to Alistair Davies Golf. Today's video is all about the transition, and this forms part of a series of videos I've done on transition. We're today focusing on the kind of trunk, rib cage if you like, and the head movement in the transition area of the golf swing. Now, in the other videos I talked about the feet, the knees and the hips. So what we tried to establish from that was that the feet and the knees are going to kind of lead the race to impact in terms of the body positions in the transition of the golf swing. So today we're going to focus on how the trunk's going to work and how the head's going to work. So just to be clear, the transition is where we change direction in the golf swing from backswing to downswing, and the transition generally starts 0.01 or 0.02 seconds before we finish the backswing with our upper body. So as I'm finishing here on my upper body, my lower half will start to work. And what will happen is we'll get what's called the X factor stretch, where the lower half will separate away from my trunk and my rib cage, and my ability to basically recoil this and catch this up creates more power. So with the best golfers in the world, they tend to create a bigger X factor stretch and create a greater rate or quicker rate of recoil, and that transports itself into power. So there is not kind of one model of number for this, but that's generally what happens. What we tend to see with worse players or less skilled players is the rib cage tends to accelerate and decelerate after contact. So what tends to happen with that is it tends to move aggressively and not slow down. So the arms then can't accelerate. So it works like a kind of chain reaction. So essentially the lower half would accelerate, then the upper half accelerates, the lower half starts to kind of slow down before the upper half, and the arms, and it's all like a chain reaction. So the lower half will accelerate, the upper half accelerates, then the arms accelerate, and so on. And as these slow down, the speed goes down the chain. So we want basically the arms and the club head working the fastest at contact. So with the less skilled golfers, they tend not to decelerate early enough, so therefore they never transport that speed and energy into the club head efficiently. Now, I'm not saying I want you to think about decelerating, because I think for most golfers we don't get enough speed anyway. But I think what we need to do is make sure our lower half is accelerating at the right time and faster probably than the upper half. So getting back to talk about the trunk and the head in transition. So in the backswing, the head for me would move a maximum of 2 inches with an iron, and it can stay dead still. I don't mind either model. So if the head's moved a couple of inches, what I'd want to see in the downswing is the head kind of stay where it is initially and then slowly move back to its original spot of contact by the point of impact. So it's not going to work ahead of that point. It's going to work to that point. And if your head doesn't move in the backswing, it's going to stay pretty centered, pretty still, and the lower half will work ahead, and then we'll make our contact. The trunk, what I want to encourage is this feeling of the stretch. So if we did a drill like this, taking our club across our arms, made a backswing, and then try to feel that the lower half can try and work away from us while we stay facing this way with our upper body. So our chest faces away from target, our lower half starts to go towards target, and we start to feel that X factor stretch. And then when we've got that X factor stretch, the next step then is to kind of explode through the ball. Now, most skilled golfers we'd see in the transition period lose a little bit of a height, and that's the forces kind of working into the ground, and then the height will start to then come back around contact. We start to extend. So there's nothing wrong with losing a bit of height. We definitely want to feel the forces going down into the ground, and we want to feel this stretch and this recoil through the ball. So that is the role of the trunk and the head in transition. So trying to keep it quite simple, trying to give you some ideas. And as I said, one of the drills you can do for this at home would be to use a door frame. And if you put your head in the door frame, make a backswing turn, keep your head in the door frame, and then start to feel the lower half of your body going into the room next door, and then catch up. And I'll show an image of this also, so you have that as a drill to do at home. I hope you've enjoyed the video. This video's been all about the transition. Make sure you watch the other videos in the series on transition. If you have enjoyed the video, please click like down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I've got regular content coming every single week. And post any comments you have in the box, especially if any future videos you want me to cover. And thanks for watching.